So number one, you're going to stay open when you want to hide, shut down, or retreat. Case in point, this is where it came to me. Today I was at the gym. I run into a guy that I went on a date with a couple of years, it was more than a couple of years ago. And immediately I was like, oh God, I could just pretend that I don't see him. And then I was like, well, all right. I mean, I was doing legs, the leg day, so I could have just been like this the whole time to ignore him. But then I was like, no, I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to stay open to it. So I stayed open to it, and we connected, and he came over. We started talking. And the interesting thing is, had I shut him out, which I could have done, and like pretended he wasn't there, because of this embarrassing interaction we had so many years ago, which is we went out on a date, and then after the date, I went in for the kill and tried to kiss him, and it was just like, I think I just got the cheek, which is really embarrassing. So I was dealing with my own embarrassment about that, running into him again. First of all, the guy probably doesn't even remember. Secondly, we started talking, and he's completely transformed his life, and he wants to be an artist now, of course, and he wants to be an actor. So and he was like, oh my God, I've heard so much about your school, and I was like, well, you should come and audit, da-da-da. So possibility is created where there is none. Now sometimes you're going to be thwarted, but you got to try to do it, where you would normally be like, I'm pretending that I don't even know that that person's there. Number two, this is very similar to number one, embarrass yourself. Now, you're not trying to do something silly. It's just by putting yourself out there and engaging with somebody in a real way. Like Don was talking about saying hello to somebody at Target. It can be really humiliating because you're going to be rebuffed. But you got to do it. Case in point, I was at the Starbucks yesterday, and this guy was talking to the barista who I know, and he was like, God, I'm having the worst week ever. And I was like, cheer up, dude, it's only Monday. And I should never have said it, because he's like, my dog died, and my cat got run over by a bus, and like, I mean, all these crazy things happened, and I just felt so mortified that I was like, come on, chin up. But you gotta do it. It creates the possibility to engage. Now sometimes it's not going to work out, but you've got to engage. Number three, and that is its own reward. Engagement is its own reward. Number three, we were talking about this in the intro class last night, and I need to be reminded of all the time. They got a can of whoop-ass. Kids, life is designed this way, for sure. One of the things that I don't know why it's this way. Part of my life's mission is to try to figure it out. The universe has this very strange orchestration, which in order for things to happen for you, you have to take the leap, then the net appears. I don't know why it's that way, it just is. It's this maddening construct. But that's the only way shit happens. The net doesn't appear first and then you just kind of walk across it. You gotta jump, and then it appears. So I want you to take a leap into something that you normally would wait for. Haven't you noticed? How long have you waited? That net has not appeared. Now one caveat, that does not mean you take the leap, the net will be there to support you, but I'm here to tell you it's still not going to be what you think it is, and you got to be okay with that. Because again, actually all things work out in the taking of the leap. The net does appear, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to lead you to 1 + 1 = 2. But other things unfold because of the risk. Again, that's really why we're doing it. So you have to start taking the leap more often. You really do. Yeah, it is the only way. I don't know why. It's the physics of it. Number 4, this is good. Listen, I think it's important. I think we have this really weird relationship with feelings in LA in general. I've talked about this in intro classes this week as well, because we live in a culture that everybody here in LA is always pretending to have it more together than they really do. And it's not a culture of really like, and I'm not asking people to bitch and moan, I'm just asking people to get more honest with what's really going on. And LA is really not about that. But I think one thing that will help you is when you get stuck in life, when you're challenged, when you're really feeling like you're up against stuff, even if it's your own stuff, get mad. The only way you're going to break the surface is to get through to feeling. And that's preferable than being passive-aggressive. Passive-aggressive is a non-state. Get into your feelings about it, and what will happen is you'll actually break into gratitude, for sure. But you can't if you stay in this cynicism stasis of passive-aggressiveness. You got to watch that in your life, people. It's highly preferable to just allow your shit to go. It's okay. Who said it wasn't okay to get upset about things? We live in LA and everything has to always just be so, it's all good. When it's not, you're lying to yourself. Last thing, Express your love in unexpected ways. That's good. You guys, that's really what it's about. Another story here. I had coffee yesterday with an old student. He actually used to be in Tuesday night. And it was so unexpected because we were talking, and this guy isn't acting anymore, and he's become a force to be reckoned with in philanthropy and charitable causes. And he's really inspiring to me. And so I just started talking to him, and of course, I started to cry. Now listen, those who know me know that that's not unexpected, but it is always unexpected because you're in vulnerability. And so I didn't come to the table thinking, hi, how are you, or catching up that I was going to cry. But me taking him in, that is a gift of love. That's one of the ways that I do it. And I'm not saying it's easy and that it doesn't bring up feeling like weirdness for me. So all of you this week, find a way to express your love. It can be just texting somebody and saying, you know what, I really value you in my life. Thank God you're in my life. It could be texting somebody and saying, you know what, I'm really upset with you right now. That's also love because you're being honest. Get what I'm saying? Find a way of doing it in which you normally wouldn't do it. See what happens. It'll surprise you. All right, 5 things. Try them. They're all very similar.